Hey everybody. Let's welcome. Sorry, I'm just realizing. You can see my screen. But anyway, yeah. Welcome. We're gonna be working on the masonry grid today. So in case you've never seen, there is here. Let's come here. This is what I've been working on so far, but if we go to Bedrock layout, in our React version that I'm porting this from, we have this concept of a masonry grid where each item we have a consistent width, and it's going to optimize the width based off the content as best it can. But we have this like varying height, and it's going to put them in there as dense as it possibly can. So that way, yeah, fine. We're at these larger layouts. It will put it in this. But then as we start to go smaller, you can see that like it went from 3 columns down to 2, and then but you see it goes 1, 2, 3, and then 4 comes up here, but 5, and then it puts 6 here. This is the next best place, but on a maybe even smaller layout, you may see that 6. Like, yeah, there we go. Yeah. It can actually put the 6 right there in a more dense layout, and so it does. And then if we just keep going, eventually it'll just go to a single column. And so yeah, that's a masonry grid. Sometimes people call it like the Pinterest grid system style. So it's something that I would. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Anyway, that's something that I've already got working in the Bedrock layout React version, and I'm going to try to see if we can get that working today in the Solid port. So, first thing I'm going to do is let's go ahead and make that masonry grid. And it helps if we actually define what type of file that is. And if the music gets a little too loud, just let me know. I think it's kind of loud for me. Let me put that down. There we go. Actually, yeah. Let me play with that audio. That's kind of loud here. You might hear it turn off for a second. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. It's not so loud. I can bring that up a little bit more there. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first of all, since I've already built this, let's see here. I've already got this built, and this has been pretty easy. This is the coolest thing about Solid and React, is like I can take something I've generally already built, and usually just with some minor changes get it working. So let's do that. This is something I had to do somewhere else. Okay. So I'm going to close this. This is how it's implemented in React. And let's just start making some changes. So this is going to come from the spacing constants file. Interesting. Yeah, this is actually, let's do this grid. This would be coming from the internal grid. We are not going to be using use resize observer. So let's just cut that out. No state. We don't have to, I don't believe we have to worry about this. We'll see. From solid styled components. And we need to do it that way. Okay. Okay, so we have this. Let's do component. Yeah, let's change this. Function resizer. Now let's just do it this way. Props. Actually, how did I do it on this one? Am I using? Oh yeah. What? How are we doing this on split? Okay, we're doing it that way. Let's just be consistent. So, not do function. Let's go const resizer equals. Okay. And resizer is going to be a component of what did I have there before? I'm deleting too many things. Look at Bedrock. What did I do there? Let's close that. Let's just inline that. Okay. We're just going to go spacing option. We need to bring in that import from solid. This is a type import. Okay. So we're not going to use state. We're going to be doing create signal. There we go. And we do need to know the theme. So let's go use, it was use theme, right? Not right? Is that gonna? Okay, that's good. I like that. So here we go. We don't want to do use resize observer because what we really want to do in here is we want to bring in import from at bedrock register callback, and this has two things. It has an init and a register callback. This is a new thing I created. Basically, just to give some context, let's come back here. I had originally created this hook called use resize observer, and it still exists. It's a good hook for React, but I basically need a way to do the same logic of what it does. It allows you to pass in a callback, and there's two different versions where it returns a ref that you can pass in here, or you can pass a ref into it here as a second parameter and ignore that. Anyway, long story short, you can pass in a callback and it's going to register this callback to this ref, and it will, once this ref resizes, it will call this callback. Really cool. But I need to like factor that out and make it a much more like platform agnostic way of doing it. And so I came up with this register resize callback, and it has an init function, so that way you can make sure you are only initializing the callback, the resize observer in the browser, and then you just simply register a callback. You pass in the node and the callback that you want to run. And then it will provide a cleanup function for you to call when it cleans up. And I'm already using it in a couple of them, in columns and split. Actually, well, I'm using it technically in this create container query. There we go. So I'm doing this on mount. So let's just kind of follow this pattern here. On mount. Where did it go? Don't need this. Don't need this. Actually, I don't need any of this. So I'm going to bring in. We'll address that here in a moment. So on mount, we need to, oops. When you bring this, we need to initialize it. Let's close that. And then we basically need to do this, but we're going to have a different function. So in a way, we also need this. Yeah, we do. Let's see here. So we need, let's go node ref. That's perfect. We don't need the save theme anymore, looks like. We need to bring in this create effect. Oops. Come on. Yeah, we need to bring that in. And the guts of this is what we need to change. Here we go. We're going to go const. Oh yeah, we just want the target from here. So let's do that. Okay. So we don't need, move this out of there. Okay. Get safe getter. Oh yeah. So instead we want to do get spacing value. That's what we want to do. Getter theme. Okay. Oh yeah, we need this to be props dot getter. There we go. And let's do this. Yeah, prompts dot getter question mark. This can still return undefined, so let's go ahead. Yeah, 1 pixel. Okay. 2 pixel, we need to bring this in. Need to bring this in. Okay, good. And then we're going to say the style row span is called. Then this is prompts dot children. Oops. And honestly, oops, we could just do this now that we have, we're doing Solid.js. We could go string interpolated $sign dot. That's nice. Okay. So let's go here. And the next thing I need to do is change this Mason grid. We don't need this. We don't need any of this junk. So this file is getting a lot cleaner than the last one. But what I do need to do is, this is going to, oops, how do I get that open again? I need to go over each of the, so we're not exporting this grid wrapper. We're just going to take style grid and add this grid template rows. And then we're going to go const it's still going to be the grid props. And we're going to return we're going to go MasonaryGrid wrapper, pass all these props in. This is going to be export const. But we need to wrap each of these children in this resizer. So let's look that up. Let's go to Solid.js, and I think they have a utility to help us get there and do this. Docs. And let's see here. Children. This helper resolves any nested reactivity and returns a memo. Recommended approach for using props.children in anything other than passing directly through to JSX. Okay. So do we have an example of how this works? Let's just save that. This is technically what we want, but we want to wrap, oops. Each one of these things. So let's come up here. Yeah, we don't need that. Looks like we don't need that. Oh, it's not being used. I'm like, what's the problem? Oh, yeah. Where's solid? There we go. So children. If we just call children, maybe wrapped children equals children. And what does this take? It takes syntax, a function. So this is do something with them. But what do I even get when I do this? That's what it says to do. Let's just find out what we even have here. So that brings me to my next point is we want to, let's see here. We need to export them from index. MasonaryGrid. That's good. So now we can come into app and we could just go grid. Oh, that reminds me. I need to go. I have a couple of these still floating around in here. I need to clean these up. There we go. So what do we... let's go into the app. Yeah, let's save that. Close that. We're exporting it. Okay, so on map, we can come in here and go MasonaryGrid. Let's just throw something down here at the bottom. MasonaryGrid, and let's just throw in a div style equals, and let's go size 100 pixels, background black. Will this work? Will I start seeing these? Guess the size is not working, so let's go. Let's do it that way, and then we can go width is var, that's just size. And what's the other one? Height. I had a brain freeze. Height is var dash size. There we go. And if I make, let's do a couple things here. Gutter equals, let's do an extra large gutter. And let's go, what's the min item width will be 25 rem. Let's do that. Why not? And then let's change. This should be what I really want is this to be. Actually, let's don't set a width on this. Let's just have a height. There we go. What is that? Actually, let's do. I've got it. Let's just do this. So I want to get the actual. I want to see what it actually. That's actually doing what I thought. So let's steal all this from the story. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now let's see what's actually being console logged in here. Okay. So we're getting a function. So let's come in here and call this function. What happens when we call it? We get a lot of divs. Okay. In fact, we're getting an array of them. So we could potentially go .map. Oh, actually, this is what I want to do. If we come back in here, if I just put some text in here, testing, what does that look like? Oh, it just says testing. If I say testing div, thanks for adding div. Now we get an array, so potentially so here's my idea. This one, that's going to come back as undefined. Interesting. So what if I go console, or what if I what if I put in div test? Awesome. Okay. So I don't know if you see that down there. This is kind of. So if I just have just a string, it returned just a string, not as an array. But the moment I added anything else, it put it into an array. If I put in something it couldn't recognize, it just put in undefined. And if I put in a component here, okay, then it will work. Okay. If I put in something that returns JSX. Oh, what if I think I understand what I was doing. So what if I return and it returns 1? Yeah, okay, so it actually runs the function. So next thing, here's my idea, is what if we do what I want to do is go this is probably I want to like create effect. Do I want to create the effect? Or do I just want to go let's call this children memo. And then I could go if I do const wrapped children, but really what I want to do is I want to go dot concat the children memo. And for each child, I want to wrap it in a resizer. There we go. I think I want to, just to be safe here, let's filter Boolean. As JSX element. As resolve children. Yeah. Oops. Array.never wants. So what if we do? Const resolved children. Oh. Save children equals, or maybe we'll go empty resolved children. It's saying each child could be anything. So we're going to just have this be as a JSX element. Let's not infer. If we go wrapped children, let's put that here. Will this work? Okay. Looks like it kind of does. Let's go into the app here. Let's undo this. Oh, look at that. I think we're like, something's getting lost here. That's good to know. Spec element. Okay. So what is it? Why? Look how far those things are down. Okay, so it's working, kinda, but it's not working the way I would like it to. So it's probably a little bit to do with reactivity. Solid.js is not working the same way it did in something else. So I need to keep working on this, but we've made a huge step. I've got this working, got everything wrapping. This is awesome. This is a huge step forward. We just need to get these rows to be the correct height. So I think, once again, I think we made a huge step forward. I gotta head out, but let's see here. I appreciate you all joining me, and hopefully we can get this I can get this working by next time. So anyway, thanks again. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week. And